Jai Sripad, Srila Bhakti, Pavan, Janardan, Maharaj ki Jai.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Barakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saghanaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishkam Vitam Scha Om Ajnana Timrandasya Gyanachana Shalakya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Abhidam Ujjwalam Varatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pradam Devam Divyat Tanum Suchanda Baranam Balarka Shelan Shitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubhadam Madhya Sharanam Nyashishwara Shridharam Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamananyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagawat by Srila Vrindaban Das Thakur. This translation is by Sarvabhavana Prabhu of Bengal. And this is the Madhya-khanda, chapter 6. Mahaprabhu summons Adwaita Acharya. All glories to the moon-like Sri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra, the fully independent, supreme person who is always engaged in eternal transcendental pastimes. All glories to his eternally pure activities. He is the master of the universe, the supreme controller of all controllers, and the direct manifestation of transcendence. All glories to all his intimate servants and dear devotees. All glories to their ecstatic dancing. All glories to Sri Gaurachandra, the life and soul of the universe. Please give your lotus feet in charity to my heart. All glories to the all-auspicious Vishwambar, the supreme benefactor of the universe. All glories to the servants of Sri Gaurachandra. All glories to the life and soul of Sri Paramananda Puri and the dearmost object of Swarup Damodar. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the beloved master of Sri Rupa, Sri Sanatan, Jagadish, and Gopinath. All glories to the Lord of Govinda, the doorkeeper. Please bless the entire universe by your merciful glance. In this way, with Lord Nityananda, Sri Gaurachandra performed his pastimes of congregational chanting with the devotees. Now in the Madhya-khanda, I will describe Adwaita Acharya Prabhu's meeting with Gaurachandra in the house of Srivas Pandit. One day, Lord Chaitanya, exhibiting the mood of the Supreme Lord, ordered the younger brother of Srivas Pandit, Ramai, go to Adwaita Acharya's house and inform him of my appearance. Tell him that the person he has worshipped for so long, the person he wept for, the person he fasted for, that same Lord has now appeared. He has come to distribute knowledge of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord, thus he must come immediately to join him. Also tell him about Nityananda Prabhu's arrival, but do it secretly and explain to him everything you have seen. Tell him to come immediately along with his wife and bring all the paraphernalia for my worship. Happy to be entrusted with these orders, Ramai started for Adwaita Acharya's house, absorbed in remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Although he did not know the way, he felt very joyful. His only treasure was Lord Chaitanya's instructions. Somehow, by divine guidance, he arrived at Adwaita Acharya's house, offering his obeisances to Adwaita Acharya Prabhu. He was overcome with great joy and could not speak. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu already knew everything that was happening in Navadip. He could perceive this because of his pure devotional platform. He spoke to Ramai Pandit sweetly, saying, "I know you have instructions to take me to Navadip." Ramai Pandit folded his hands in respect and said, "You already know everything, so please come quickly with me." Adwaita Acharya Prabhu was at that time in a completely blissful state of mind, transcendental to all his bodily sensations. Who was able to fathom the transcendental nature of Adwaita Acharya Prabhu? He is all cognizant, yet he speaks as if he is unaware. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu then strongly questioned Ramai Pandit, in which scripture is it mentioned that the Supreme Lord Sri Hari will descend to Navadip in a human form for the redemption of the fallen conditioned souls? O Ramai, your elder brother Srivas Pandit knows my standard of devotion, renunciation, and self-realization. Ramai Pandit was well aware of Adwaita Acharya Prabhu's spiritual powers. Thus he remained quiet, smiling within. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu's transcendental pastimes are unlimited. To the pious they are a source of great joy, while to sinful persons they remain incomprehensible. Again Adwaita Acharya Prabhu keenly inquired, "O Ramai, please tell me why you have come so suddenly." When Ramai Pandit felt that Adwaita Acharya had calmed down, he began to cry while delivering Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message. "The Supreme Personality, for whom you have wept so profusely, for whom you have performed continuous worship, and for whom you have accepted vows of fasting and austerity, that Supreme Personality has now appeared to distribute Krishna Prem, and he has instructed you to come to him immediately. Please bring your wife with you, as well as the proper paraphernalia for his worship. Lord Nityananda Prabhu has also appeared. He is non-different from Lord Chaitanya, and he is your life and soul. You already know everything. What more do I need to say? If I am fortunate enough, then I will be able to see all of you together." When Ramai Pandit delivered this message, Adwaita Acharya Prabhu swooned in ecstasy, and lifting his hands, he began to cry. Suddenly, to everyone's amazement, he fell unconscious. Shortly after, he regained his external consciousness, roaring loudly. He repeated, I have brought my Lord. The Lord has left his supreme abode in the Vaikuntha planets and appeared here in answer to my prayers." Saying this, he fell to the ground, weeping. Hearing the news of the Lord's advent, the chaste wife of Adwaita Acharya Prabhu, Sri Sita Devi, who is respected as the mother of the entire universe, began to weep joyfully. Although Adwaita Acharya's son, Achyutananda, was only a young boy, he also cried incessantly. Adwaita Acharya's house was transformed into an abode of love of Krishna as mother and son, surrounded by their friends and relatives, wept together joyfully. Engrossed in thoughts of the Supreme Lord, Adwaita Acharya Prabhu tried to control himself, but he was unable to remain patient. His body swayed in slow motion, and he again inquired from Ramai, "What did the Lord say to me?" Ramai replied, "To come immediately." Adwaita Acharya said, "Listen, Ramai Pandit, if he is actually my worshipable Supreme Lord, then let him appear before me to speak the truth. If he can exhibit his supreme opulence and place his lotus feet upon my head, then I will know that he is the Lord of my heart." Ramai Pandit replied, "O Lord, what power do I possess to speak? If I am blessed, then with these eyes I can see the Supreme Lord's pastimes. The Lord's desire is your desire, and he has incarnated because of you." Satisfied with Ramai's reply, Adwaita Acharya began preparing for the journey. "Get ready immediately," he told his wife. "Collect the different paraphernalia for worship and let us proceed." Sita Devi was a chaste and dedicated woman. She had full knowledge of the truth about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes and appearance. She collected incense, garlands, scented oils, cloves, sweet condensed milk, yogurt, cream, butter, camphor, and betel leaf and nut for worship. Adwaita Acharya then left with his wife and Ramai Pandit. He reminded Ramai Pandit. Do not tell the Lord that I have come. I want to find out the response of the Lord, for I will hide in Nandan Acharya's house. Lord Vishvambara is the super soul residing in everyone's heart. Thus he immediately knew of Adwaita Acharya's plans. Understanding that Adwaita Acharya Prabhu had arrived in Navadip, he proceeded to Srivas Pandit's house. By the arrangement of the Lord, all the devotees met there. Upon seeing the Lord in a contemplative mood, the devotees remained quiet and apprehensive. The Lord suddenly rose up, roaring like a lion. He went to sit on the seat of Sri Vishnu, which was on the altar. He began shouting, Nada has come, Nada has come. I know Nada wants to test whether I am the actual Supreme Lord, the Super Soul within everyone's heart. Nityananda Prabhu understood all of Lord Chaitanya's moods. Therefore, he picked up the umbrella and held it over the Lord's head. Gadadhar Pandit, who was also perceptive of the Lord's moods, offered him camphor and palm leaf. All the devotees followed and worshipped the Lord with various ingredients. Some offered prayers to the Lord, while others rendered different services. Amidst all these activities, Ramai Pandit returned. Before Ramai could speak, the Lord said, Nada has sent you to test me. The Lord shook his head gently and said, Nada has come. Although Nada knows me well, he always tries to test me. He is here in Navadip at Nandan Acharya's house, and he has sent you here to test me. Go quickly and bring him here immediately. Ramai happily went back to Adwaita Acharya Prabhu and narrated everything in detail to him. Adwaita Acharya felt extremely blissful hearing of the incidents that had taken place, and he came to Srivas Pandit's house considering his plan to have been completed successfully. Adwaita Acharya wanted the whole earth to know that Lord Chaitanya was the Super Soul and the all-potent Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now the Lord himself had displayed his preeminence. Adwaita Acharya and his wife approached the Lord, offering repeated obeisances from great distance while chanting hymns and praise of the Lord. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu was now fully satisfied that he was seeing the fearless lotus feet of his beloved Lord, the most blissful personality of the entire creation. The beauty of millions upon millions of cupids seemed pale and ordinary compared to the beauty of the Lord. His golden complexion was effulgent, and his blissful face was beaming like millions of glowing full moons. The Lord looked down upon Adwaita Acharya with great affection. Golden pillars were no match against the graceful and powerful arms of the Lord, and the ornaments that decorated his arms paled any gems. His breast was marked with the Srivats mark, and the great Kaustubha jewel hung loosely from his neck. From his ears dangled fish-shaped earrings, and around his neck swung the Vaijayanti garland. His unlimited mighty power and brilliance outshone a million suns. Rama, the goddess of fortune, always serves his lotus feet, and Ananta Sesh holds the umbrella over his head. One is put in quandary to discern which are the Lord's nails and which are the brilliant gems of decoration. He played the flute in a most exquisite pose, bending in 3 places, and a charming smile played on his lips. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu saw everything glowing all around the Lord. The Lord, his devotees, and the beautiful ornaments that decorated the Lord's transcendental form shone brilliantly. He also saw the 4-headed Lord Brahma, the 5-headed Lord Shiva, and the 6-headed Lord Kartikeya, offering him obeisances, while Narad Muni and Sukadeva Goswami recited prayers reverentially. An extremely beautiful lady, Ganga Devi, was offering the Lord obeisances seated upon a chariot. All around, the demigods were offering eulogies and prayers to the Lord. Turning around, he saw that hundreds and hundreds of demigods were flat on the ground, offering their obeisances and repeating Lord Krishna's name. Seeing these wonderful sights, Adwaita Acharya Prabhu lifted himself up from his prostrated position, overcome with awe and reverence. Huge, many-hooded serpents stood with their heads raised high, offering hymns and prayers to the Lord. In another direction he saw many chariots, horses, elephants, and swans, the carriers of the demigods. Innumerable wives of the demigods stood around with tears in their eyes, offering praise to the Lord and chanting Lord Krishna's name. There was not an empty space left either in the sky or on land. In another direction, all the great sages offered chaste prayers to the Lord. Overwhelmed, Adwaita Acharya and his wife stood there speechless. Lord Vishwambar, the all-merciful Supreme Godhead, looked at Adwaita Acharya Prabhu and said, I have descended to this earth because of your vow and your constant devotional service and worship. I was resting on the ocean of milk, and your roaring woke me up. You are so merciful that you could not bear the sufferings of humanity, and so you have brought me here to alleviate their sufferings. All these demigods, sages, devotees, and associates that surround me have appeared in answer to your prayers. You have arranged for all living entities to see these great devotees of whom even Lord Brahma is constantly thinking. Hearing these wonderful words from the Lord's mouth, Adwaita Acharya lifted his hands and wept along with his wife. Today my life has become successful, he said. All my dreams and desires have been fulfilled. Seeing your lotus feet, unlimited good fortune that I am able to see, it is... Seeing your lotus feet, my birth and all my activities have gained meaning. It is by unlimited good fortune that I am able to see in person that personality whom even the Vedas have never seen and yet describe with choice words. O Lord, I am incapable of anything. Everything is made up of your mercy. Who else but you can liberate the living entities? Tears rolled down Adwaita Acharya's face as he spoke. Now perform my worship, the Lord said. Having received this instruction, Adwaita Acharya Prabhu began to worship the Lord's lotus feet in great ecstasy. First, he washed his feet with scented water and then covered them with highly scented oil. He dipped tulasi manjaris into sandalwood paste and placed them upon the Lord's lotus feet. Then his tears of love flowed unrestrictedly from his eyes. He began to offer worship with flowers, scents, incense, frankincense, and lamps. He then offered a lamp of 5 flames while chanting prayers, after which everyone jubilantly glorified the Lord. He continued to worship the Lord strictly according to the injunctions of the scriptures, offering the 16 types of paraphernalia, as well as flower garlands, clothes, and ornaments. He then glorified the Lord with the verse, O my Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the Brahmins, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society in the world. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmanetaya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Right? Adwaita Acharya offered his worship with this verse and then began to recite verses from the scriptures in praise of the Supreme Lord. All glories to the Lord of everyone's heart. Lord Vishwambar, all glories to Lord Gaurachandra, the ocean of mercy. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the source of all incarnations. He comes to confirm that his devotees are always right. All glories to him who feels great joy beholding the exquisite beauty of Lakshmi Devi. All glories to the Lord who is decorated with the mark of Srivats and is decorated with the Kaustuba gem. All glories to Lord Vishwambar who is propagating the chanting of the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to him, for he manifests the pastimes of a pure devotee, just to teach the living entities the process of surrendered devotional service unto him. All glories to Sri Mahaprabhu, who lives on the bed of Adwaita, of Ananta Sesha. All glories to Sri Mahaprabhu, who lies on the bed of Anantasesha. All glories to the only supreme shelter of all living entities. O my Lord, you are Lord Vishnu, you are Krishna, and you are Narayan. You are eternal, and you have appeared as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and Vamana. In every yuga, you protect and maintain the Vedic principles. You are Lord Ramachandra, the life of Mother Janaki, and the destroyer of all the demons. You gave a boon to the Chandala Guhaka, and you liberated Mother Devahuti. You appeared as Lord Nrsingadev just to protect your beloved devotee Prahlad Maharaj. And in that incarnation, you slew his father, Hiranyakashipu. You are the most precious jewel of the Vedas and the best of the Brahmins. You have appeared in Nilachala, in your deity form, to receive the worship of the living entities. The four Vedas search for you, and even though you hide yourself from the Vedas, you have mercifully appeared here in Navadip. O Lord, you are the most expert in hiding yourself, but your pure devotees are just as expert at finding you out and revealing you. You have invented to propagate the congregational chanting of the holy name of Krishna. This is unprecedented, and in the entire creation there is no parallel to you. Hey. The nectar from your two lotus feet satiates and intoxicates Lord Shiva and Parvati. Rama, the goddess of fortune, constantly serves your lotus feet with great attention, and great sages sing incessantly in praise of your lotus feet. Lord Brahma worships you with great awe and reverence, and all the Shruti, Smriti, and Puranic Shastras glorify your lotus feet. As Lord Vamana, you covered the entire universe up to Satyaloka with your lotus feet, and Bali Maharaj surrendered his life and soul, laying his head at your feet. The holy Ganga emanates from your lotus feet, and Lord Shiva feels greatly fortunate to hold her waters upon his head. Adwaita Acharya's intelligence is 1,000,000 times greater than that of Brihaspati. Thus he was fully aware of the absolute and transcendental position of Lord Chaitanya. Drenched in his own tears, Adwaita Acharya Prabhu glorified the Lord and fell prostrate before him, seeking shelter under his lotus feet. Lord Gauranga is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul, residing in every living entity's heart. He lifted his lotus feet and placed them upon Adwaita Acharya Prabhu's head. Seeing this, all the devotees began to glorify the Lord with jubilant sounds of victory. They swooned with joy and filled the air with sounds of the Lord's holy name. Hari, Hari. The devotees lost control of themselves. Some of them rolled on the ground. Many of them slapped each other boisterously, while others embraced, and some just cried out loudly. Adwaita Acharya and his wife felt that all their desires were now fulfilled because Lord Chaitanya had placed his lotus feet upon Adwaita's head. Lord Chaitanya instructed Adwaita Acharya Prabhu, O Nada, sing my glories and dance in kirtan. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu happily began dancing with great devotion. Someone started a sweet melodious kirtan, and Adwaita Acharya Prabhu continued dancing ecstatically in front of Lord Chaitanya. At times his dancing became sprite-like, and at other times he danced gracefully with delicate movements. At times he felt very humble and moved about holding a straw in his teeth. Sometimes he spun around and jumped in the air, and then falling to the ground, he rolled back and forth. At other times, he would breathe deeply and quickly and fell unconscious with ecstasy. A variety of devotional moods overtook him as he danced ecstatically, spontaneously reciprocating with the mood of the kirtan. Finally, he settled down quietly as a meek servitor of the Lord. It is impossible to communicate this inconceivable and transcendental pastime. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu then ran to Lord Chaitanya's side. Seeing Lord Nityananda, he buckled his eyebrows. And Nityananda Prabhu began to laugh. Adwaita Acharya Prabhu said, "It is wonderful that you are here, Nitai. For a long time I have seen no trace of you. Now if you try to go anywhere, I will tie you up." Sometimes Adwaita addressed Nityananda as Prabhu and sometimes as drunkard. Lord Nityananda laughed at Adwaita Acharya Prabhu's demeanor. Though now in Chaitanya Leela they have appeared in two different forms in the pastimes of Sri Krishna, they're the same personality. I have already discussed previously how Nityananda served Chaitanya in various ways, with great pleasure. For this purpose he expanded himself into many forms. In some forms he described the glories of the Lord. In other forms he meditated within his heart upon the Lord. Sometimes he manifested himself as the Lord's umbrella and bed, while in another form he would sweetly sing the holy name of the Lord. Only the most fortunate can understand that in this incarnation, Nityananda Prabhu and Adwaita Acharya Prabhu are non-different. In the course of their pastimes, whatever arguments or differences they had between themselves are all the inconceivable and transcendental behavior of the Supreme Lord. The manner in which they served Lord Chaitanya with great ecstasy is similar in mood to service of Lord Anantasation, Lord Shiva. Those ignorant persons who do not understand the purport of their quarrels and take sides, criticizing one and praising the other, are destined to perish. The dancing of Adwaita Acharya Prabhu mesmerized all the devotees and filled their hearts with ecstatic joy. When Lord Chaitanya instructed Adwaita Acharya Prabhu to stop dancing, he immediately sat down, accepting the Lord's instructions with utmost respect. Lord Chaitanya then garlanded Adwaita Acharya with a garland from his own neck. Smiling, he said, "Ask for a boon, Adwaita Acharya." Adwaita Acharya Prabhu remained quiet, yet Lord Vishwambar insisted that he ask for a boon. Adwaita Acharya replied, "What more of a boon can I ask for? What I wanted I already have received. Since you have personally watched my dancing, my heart's desire has been fulfilled. What more could I ask from my Lord? I have seen you in person. That is all that matters. You know everything. You have seen everything with your transcendental opulence. You know what I want and what I do not want." Inclining his head to one side, Lord Vishwambar said, "I have appeared because of you. I will propagate the chanting of the holy name in every home so that the entire universe may dance, singing my glories. I promise that I will distribute Krishna Prem to everyone. That devotional service which is desired, worshipped, and meditated upon by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Narad Muni will now be given freely." Adwaita Acharya Prabhu said, "If you distribute Krishna Prem, then give it to the women, the Shudras, the fallen, and the ignorant people. Yet those sinful persons who have become intoxicated with material learning, wealth, family, etc., and subsequently do not respect your devotees or the process of devotional service unto you, let them burn in the fire of hell." Let everyone else, including the Chandalas, dance in ecstasy, chanting your holy name. Appreciating the words of Adwaita Acharya, the Lord roared loudly, "Everything you have said is truth. Let the entire world bear witness to your mercy upon the ignorant and fallen conditioned souls." While the low-class Chandalas are dancing in ecstasy, chanting the Lord's name, the Brahmin scholars like the Bhattas, Mishras, Chakravartis, and others are only criticizing Lord Chaitanya. These atheistic scholars have vigilantly studied the scriptures and feel very proud, thinking that they have mastered them. But their pride has actually destroyed their proper intelligence and understanding of the Vedas. These people criticize Lord Nityananda without understanding his transcendental pastimes, thus inviting their own doom. I have described in this chapter how the entire universe received Krishna Prema by the mercy of Sri Adwaita Acharya Prabhu. The esoteric discussions between Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and Adwaita Acharya Prabhu are all known to Sri Saraswati, the goddess of learning. She appears in the mouth of all the pure devotees of the Lord and sings the unlimited glories and pastimes of the Lord. I offer my obeisances at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas, so that I may be cleansed of all sins and offenses. Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are my life and soul. I, Vrindaban Das, humbly offer this song at their lotus feet. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama. Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Maranaman. Giridhari Gopinatha Maranaman. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Adwaita Chandra. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Adwaita Chandra. Garadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Garadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunath. Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Raghunath. Hey Jai Gosai Gauri Charana Bandhan. Hey Jai Gosai Gauri Charana Bandhan. Jaite Vijnana Shabishta Puran. Jaite Vijnana Shabishta Puran. Hey Jai Gosai Jar Mui Jarana. Hey Jai Gosai Jar Mui Jarana. Dasavar Para Renu Mora Panchagas. Dasavar Para Renu Mora Panchagas. Sadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Sadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. Janame Janame More Abhilas. Hey Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Gauri Labhakas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Gauri Labhakas. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan. Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narodamona. Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narodamona. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan. Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Gauriya Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naradhamodas Hare Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naradhamodas Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitya Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai Tadiya Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Acharya Statara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Parabhajaka Acharya Ashtatara Sarashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga ki jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Adwaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Namadev Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur ki jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Koladvip ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki jai. Ganga Devi ki jai. Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Vrindaban Dham ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Jai Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai.